In chapter 3 of Galatians, St. Paul wants to give us two important distinctions. One is the distinction of the promises of Abraham, and the other is the law that is given to Moses. Two separate events, two important key components in the salvation of really the human race. And that it's important for St. Paul to tell us that one came before the other, that the promises that God gives to Abraham, that again, for St. Paul, are fulfilled in Jesus Christ. He is like the final answer or final response or the final fulfillment of everything that God has promised through Abraham. He is it. And the law comes after it, and to show kind of the primacy of the promises. Now, again, this might be a little bit confusing today because it seems as if when St. Paul talks about the law, he talks about, first of all, important distinction between sin and transgressions. Okay, so when you disobey the law, do you sin or do you transgress? Okay, because we usually just think they're the same thing, but for St. Paul, they're not. Okay, sin is that moral or immoral thing that we do, but a transgression goes against something against the law, which could be something moral or it could be something customary. Now again, so why am I bringing all this up? For St. Paul, he talks about what here? About transgressions, that the law brings to light our transgressions. And St. Paul wants to say, well, that's the purpose of the law. God gives us the law to show us our transgressions. That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. He gives us a law for the sake that we would break the law. That's very strange. But here's why. Okay, here's why. The purpose is for the Israelites to be aware of their need for a Savior. For a need to be aware that they can't accomplish and they can't achieve righteousness on their own. That they're presented a law and that they're going to just fail and break the law. They know, God knows that it's going to happen. So the purpose is to be aware of what? Of our weaknesses and our deficiencies. Why? So then we can reach out to God through faith and righteousness. See, I think if we look around the world, I think we see a lot of people who don't realize and need that they need God's help in life. A lot of people, want to live, according to good deeds and live according to, goodwill, and really sincerely believe that they're being righteous. But even in their best efforts, they come up short, and we come up short. And we get discouraged when we come up short and we say, well, I got to do better. I got to be better than this. I go to church every day. I pray the rosary. I got to be better in this. Got to be better in this. And just notice what the focus is in on. The focus is I have to do, and I have to be this. And it's completely backwards. Our first response is to reach out to God through faith, again, the righteousness, the life that Jesus Christ, to live out, to look up to him and say, Lord, I need you for everything, even to do good things, even not to sin. I need your help. And so to end with this, St. Paul, again, the whole purpose of Galatians is to show the primacy of faith in Jesus Christ over the law, over the works of the law. For St. Paul, we have Christ now. We have the heir of the promises that God gives to Abraham. And so the law, in a sense, has served its use. Now in our struggle with sin, we don't just see that we're sinners. We just don't see where we transgress against the law. Now through the transgression of the law, we look up to Christ. And we say, again, in those words from the saint that we celebrated a couple of days ago, St. Faustina, Jesus, I trust in you. May God bless you.